Yeah.
And there's times where I'm like, live with my parents. Then there's times.
Are you filming me yet?
Yeah. You nailed it. And I'm like, I do.
I always like a smaller spoon because it fits better in my mouth.
It's in there. Oh no!
No one's really excited about this. As you can tell, there's not much excitement going on. But I'm excited. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this forever. Well, this thing is overposted. Jesus Christ. It's freezing here. God, there's so much extra film in the beginning of this video. Like 2 years of silence and I'm at a loss of words. You know, a lot's changed, but in all honesty, not that much changed. You know, I'm still the same. I'm still the same Cameron, sort of. I'm more mature now. I hope. I think. I'd like to believe. That's actually kind of the reasons why I stopped vlogging for a while. Well, there's a lot of reasons I stopped vlogging. I think it's an air conditioner. What the hell? That's the last thing I need in here. I stopped vlogging because a lot of reasons. One of the big reasons was I started to, I think I was like 21, 22 when I stopped. And around that time, I really felt like my mind was like really expanding. Like so when you're growing up, I feel like life has a very first-person perspective aspect to it, and I think it has to do with you learning everything, and you know, humans being humans, and having their young kids having their brains be sponges, and everything is constantly being soaked in, and all your sensory is always being overwhelmed with life and everything. That it almost really just feels like you're like filming your own movie, and you're the only one who matters, kind of thing. And I think you get to a point where you kind of lose that, and you realize that you're a person, and everyone around you is also a person, and you kind of get dumped off into this big pond of the world. Like well, it happens to people really early sometimes, you know. It happens to people way too late sometimes, you know. Late bloomers, early bloomers. I'm not really talking about blooming. I'm just talking about awareness of being human amongst all the other humans, and how all the other humans see you now as a human, not just like a younger person. You know, I'm still a younger person, and old people, like, you know, call people in their 20s kids, and I totally get that. But I was in a position where I didn't really want to like be broadcasting my thoughts on the internet, and I don't know. I started realizing that when you talk online and whatnot, it stays kind of permanent, and it kind of reflects who you are in some sense. And I was having a lot of like thought to where I didn't really know much. I was thinking all the time, and my mind was really expansive, and I don't know. I didn't want to like be online. I didn't want to talk online. I didn't want to have a voice. I didn't want to contribute to anything, because I was figuring stuff out, I guess. That's I've never really put it like that or heard myself say that, but that's kind of what it was. Is I was figuring myself out on like kind of like a manhood aspect of like who I really wanted to be, and it was hard to do that and have social media be such a big player in life, you know? Like after I stopped vlogging, I didn't like being on Twitter anymore. I didn't like being on Facebook, and I didn't like any of the social media. I didn't like how the world got to a point where all of a sudden your online portfolio is almost like a version of yourself. Exactly. Like people see you online and they see that version, and that's the version of you they know. And I just got hung up on that, and I hated it. And I was like, I didn't feel like that was really me, and I didn't feel all this kind of stuff has been like, you know, last 2 years of a bunch of stuff going down. Not going down. Nothing went down. I'm just talking thought process and whatnot. So it's actually really uncomfortable to put a camera on myself and try and talk about it, because it's like, where do you begin, you know? And I don't know. With a video camera, it actually feels kind of nostalgic and familiar, but with the video camera, it's like having a one-way conversation, and I'm at home right now. I'm at my parents' house in Minden, Nevada. That was my sister Maggie, if you guys forgot, and her boyfriend Danny. They both live in Reno, Nevada. See ya! Where were we? Alright, so I feel like talking to a camera is a very weird sense of conversation, because I really feel like I'm talking to you, the viewer, but it's one way when I'm doing it right now, you know? And I didn't like that, because when you have a conversation, you have all these mental thoughts, right? And when you start putting them into words, you really start like laying out the words to try and help someone else understand. But when you put it into words yourself, it's kind of a way for you to help understand your thoughts as well, you know. And there's many ways of doing that. One of them's having conversations. One of them is keeping like a diary or a journal and jotting down your thoughts. One of them is like this. You know, I'm sure you could take a tape recorder and do the same thing. But I was at a spot where I just didn't want to do that. I was living in Seattle. I was away from all my friends and family. I was alone a lot, and just like it was just kind of a weird spot to like talk about stuff, you know, about stuff that was just coming to mind, and stuff I was really starting to think about, and how I was thinking about things differently, and how the world was kind of, my perspective was changing. And during all this, I was traveling a lot. In 2012 and in 2013, I was traveling a lot. I was touring. I was flying around a lot. I racked up a lot of miles. Saw a lot of cool stuff. You know, now I've been to almost all of Canada, Mexico City, almost the whole U.S., Australia twice, and pretty much all of Australia. Except for like the Outback and stuff. What's up, Australia? I love you guys. I'll talk about stuff later, but I love you, Australians. I love you. And Japan recently as well. And I don't know, I just was getting like a really strange perspective, and I think it had a lot to do with my age and being out in the world, and just being in Seattle was a really strange place for me. Seattle was a weird home base. I could talk about Seattle a lot. I lived there for 3 years, and I think I vlogged for the first year, and the first year I vlogged there was really, really weak, and I don't know. I'm really glad I stopped doing Cam Every Day because it was getting weak. I was putting out a weak product. Cam Every Day is not supposed to be a product. It's essentially like a video diary kind of thing, and the CamEveryDay community is, wow, we can talk about CamEveryDay community later, but I didn't want to vlog anymore. It was weak, and I was getting to that point where or what I was talking about, where I didn't want to be broadcasting myself online. I didn't want to represent myself online. I didn't want to be online. I only wanted to be Cameron in the flesh. I had a hard enough time trying to put together Cameron in the flesh at times that I didn't want to be someone online. And I think that's, like, now that I'm past that, I really respect myself for doing that, even though it was kind of a gradual process. It wasn't like a conscious one day, like, I don't want to. It was, I had to learn and figure it out based off feelings and thought and whatnot. But I'm glad I did that because I'm really, I don't know, that was a nice time to stop doing it and to kind of learn a lot about myself. That's basically what Seattle was, is I learned a lot about myself. I took myself out of my element, and I did it. I lived my life, and like this last year in 2014, I stopped touring because I was so burnt out on touring. Like I was traveling so much. Starting in like March, I did this, like a lot of flight dates with one of my buddies, Jay Rabbit, and that was like a month of just flying, and then I did Warp Tour, Australia, and Japan. I think there's some other stuff I'm missing, I'm not totally sure. And I just was so tired, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel like Big Chocolate was properly representing Cameron, and I felt like Big Chocolate was the representation of Cameron, and it really, really bothered me. And I basically was just at a point where I just was like, I need to take a step back and make a bunch of music first off, and just, kind of live. Because I was living in Seattle 2 years, and I was always gone, and I was never there. But this last year I started living by myself. My roommate moved out. She was from the South, and she moved back to the South. God bless her. And it just... Oh, it's my dad. Hold on. Anyways, I started living by myself, and as you guys know, Seattle's kind of notorious for being a rainy city, and it's not really rainy. It rains all the time, but it's more so just like a gray mist, and it was just kind of a really dark year. Like, I don't want to get into it too much. Maybe I will, but I started developing like a sense of anxiety and a sense of depression and loneliness for sure, and it just was kind of rough, and I feel like I learned a lot about myself, and I was 23, turning 24 last year, and if you guys don't remember, my birthday's in August, and at that point I've traveled a lot, I've lived in multiple places, and I just kind of came to a place where I felt like I had a good grasp on who I was, but I felt like I wasn't there. I felt like I wasn't being who I was. And that was very enlightening, but it wasn't rewarding because it was still dark, And over the past, I guess, 2 months, I've been making a lot of changes and doing a lot of things and really switching a lot of things in my life around that I had in place, and decided that Nevada is my home. And I just moved back to Nevada about a week or like 5 days before Christmas. I'm living in Minden with my parents right now, and I'm moving to Reno in February. I'm actually just got a little place. Bought it. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm in the middle of getting my own place in Reno. Reno is a funny place. It's so funny because there's so much stuff I'm saying that I want to elaborate on, that I have so much thought on, that I don't want to go into it all just yet. I really should, but I just feel like it would be too much tangents for just trying to get up to speed. What is that? So that's kind of where I've been in a well-being matter, and I feel like this is very kind of intimate personal details about my life that I'm filming and putting on the internet right now, which is weird, but I feel like CamEveryDay, the CamEveryDay community I really missed that, and I missed this aspect of my life, and I missed a lot of aspects to my life. I missed my family, I missed my friends, I missed my home. Like I living in Seattle, I realized that all my customs are mainly from Nevada, and I love the mountains, and I love the sun, and I love the four seasons, and I love all the mentality about Nevada too. But yeah, Seattle was sweet. I had a great time there. I drank a lot of coffee. I made some great music. I made some great friends. I had a lot of fun. I was very independent there. This last year I was living in a 3-bedroom house by myself, so I had all the space in the world and all the freedom in the world, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm proud of myself that I did it all. There was no really real draw for Seattle. There was no real reason I needed to be there. If I really wanted to do music more in tune, I could have done it in Los Angeles, but I didn't want to go to Los Angeles. I've lived in Southern California before. I grew up there. I moved there again when I was like 19. I was filming CamEveryDay then. And I don't know. I just been there, done that in some sense. Not saying I've done LA, because I lived in Huntington Beach, but I didn't want to be down there anymore. It's real funny because, like, I want to promote these videos to my legs of networking, like Twitter and Facebook, but I really don't want to post this on Facebook, just because I feel like I feel like when I'm talking, I'm really talking to you guys who are excited about CamEveryDay again, and because I feel like you guys know me somewhat, and that's kind of why I'm really opening up. Maybe it's a good thing I'm opening up. I shouldn't feel worried about posting this on, not worried, but I shouldn't feel that about posting this on Facebook, because Facebook can really suck it. I think it's the worst. I think Facebook is the worst thing. As far as just pages, it's really bad. Like, I don't know how many likes or whatever the Big Chocolate page have, or the disfiguring the page has. But you can't reach everybody. People go and they click like because they want to follow what you're doing, but you can't reach them. You have to pay money to reach your whole audience, which is really, really bad, really unfortunate, really stupid. And on the personal side, Facebook's really stupid because my whole family's on there. And I just think that bites now. This kind of goes back to the internet is like a representation of who you are, and Facebook is the best example of that. Like, if you represent yourself on Facebook a certain way, there's a lot of people who will get a perspective of you, and that's who you become. So you kind of have two identities at some point. You have your physical, personal, your real identity, and then you have your Facebook identity, and it's your job to manage the correlation and the relationship between the two things, which are essentially supposed to be the same thing. And, early on in social media, when like MySpace and stuff was a thing, I looked at it as mainly like like a profile, and you kind of made this thing, and connect with people, and like people, but I feel like it was understood that it like there was like a person behind it. And now it's kind of like you see someone on Facebook, and that's really how you see them. Like there's a lot of people I know that I only know them on Facebook, and like a lot of that is family. My whole personal Facebook is friends I've met traveling, friends I have from home, current friends I'm making, and family. So I try and keep it kind of tight. And there's just a ton of family on there that like I don't talk to and I don't really know. And I think it's really uncomfortable for them to like, not for them. There's a weird thing about it. There's a weird thing about it. And they all go through the same thing too. That's another funny thing is the internet has really opened itself up to the later generations. And now that everyone has like little phones and stuff, like grandparents have iPhones, everyone's connected to this Facebook thing, and everyone's having to go through the same kind of etiquette of learning how to act online. And it's really kind of these last like 12, 13, 14, 2000s have been really, I think, awkward on that front. And I think it's been very uncomfortable as far as how I look at it. Yeah, it's just uncomfortable. But I didn't like it, and I wanted to remove myself from it. And I wanted to remove myself from it, especially when I was kind of really starting to mentally develop into a man. And I think that's a very great reason to remove myself from social media and the internet in some respects. And it's really weird because so much of, my business and my music and everything is connected to the internet. It's the only reason I have any sort of career is because of the internet. Period. And to remove myself from that was really, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, it was really stupid. But I think it was a good move. I feel like it was taking one step back to take two steps forward, I think if I tried to like push through it and act like I knew what I was talking about all the time, that would have been so stupid, Because like another thing is when you say stuff online, people listen to you, and you can create waves online. And if you're like broadcasting a bunch of BS, and people latch onto that, you're kind of responsible for BS, And I didn't want to be. Not that I thought that I was BS. I wasn't sure of a lot of things, and a lot of things were sitting uneasy with me, and I just felt like I took it upon myself to not contribute. And obviously now things are a little different. I feel a lot better. My well-being has never been better in my entire life. I feel very comfortable, both like inside and outside. I was thinking of like some big words like existential, but and I'm in a really great place for the new year. It couldn't be better timing for a new year either. Today's January 2nd, and 2015, and I feel so good about this year. I really feel like this is just going to be a great year for me. I hope it's going to be a good year for mankind. All across the globe, and I don't know. I hope to contribute to the internet again, and I hope to bring a sense of, like community or purpose or something through this communication tool. And I think CamEveryDay is the way I really use this communication tool of the internet. And I think it's the best way for me to connect with people, and it's the best way for me to create waves both in the viewers' lives and in my life. And I'm just so excited to be talking in this cold room to this video camera right now. And I don't know. I just want to thank you if you're watching this, because I just think it's rad. Well, there goes. I think that's a good way to end this kind of intro to Cam Every Day again. It was funny because I've thought about Cam Every Day a bunch, and I've often thought about picking it up again a lot. And there was times where I just wanted to like grab a camera and act like nothing ever happened, like just start filming stuff like I never stopped doing it, or you know what I mean. I thought that would be funny. Or there's a bunch of ways I thought I could kick it up again. But honestly, I felt like talking just now was the best way to kind of do this again. And I almost had a little bit of nerve, like in the few scenes before, like after that and stuff, where I was like, oh God, like I'm gonna do this. And now I'm just kind of cutting loose. Like I feel great, you know. So thanks for listening. But yeah, I'm in this room again. I'm temporarily set up in here until I get my place. I went to the thrift store and got this rug. I got some blankets to hold on the walls, some moving blankets, because the acoustics in here they're better now. But you know, concrete floor, like this place was hurting. I got this at the thrift store. I'm not sure what that's doing. This corner's real weak compared to this corner. Sick flag too. Yeah, I gotta fix that corner as far as acoustic problems. But you know, I think for spending a month or however long I'm gonna be in here, this will be fine. You know, filming Cam Every Day in a car was cool too. For a couple reasons. It's kind of a nice way to drive. Talking on the phone when you drive is really fun, and talking to yourself, putting it on the internet is even funner. No, that's not what I mean. But I actually have a couple GoPros from some work I did with GoPro in the past years, and I should probably get like some kind of permanent GoPro mount in my car. That'd be sweet, because then if there's ever any big meteors or something, you know, just using that Russian example from that one Russian meteor's car with all his car cams, that'd be real sweet to catch that on a GoPro. There's a bunch of useful reasons to have a GoPro in your car. Although I think it'd be hard to keep it charged and everything. I could use like a little car charger, I guess. But then how am I gonna find the police? I still drive the same car. This sick 2011 Golf. I love this car. Volkswagens are sweet. Oh, here's a cop right now. I wonder if he's gonna get mad at me because I'm filming myself. Probably. Ooh, I just passed him. There it was. But look what it is. It's a roundabout. Let's hope this guy doesn't cut me off. There goes my car. I should have filmed the gas price, but January 2nd, 2015, Carson Valley, Nevada, gas is $2.19. It's pretty tight. There's a much better spot. Cam Every Day. I'm already ashamed of myself. I think until I get a mounted GoPro, I'm not gonna fool around with. I almost hit some pedestrians.
I kind of feel guilty, but I live with my parents. And there's times where I'm like, I live with my parents. Then there's times.
Are you filming me yet?
Yeah. You nailed it. And I'm like, I do not like the concept of rent. Yeah. I think that's the biggest waste of money. And so.
Wait, hang on, let's start over. It was a really good pan.
It's in Woodford. So really, we don't need to technically take out a loan for it because it's not through a bank. It's not through anything. She might be able to take out a loan, which
pan up.
loan, if that makes sense or something like that. But really, there's no bank involved. So say something goes wrong, and I can't pay for it, and everything blows up.
Battle Royale?
She'll keep the house.
You can also do there's trust.
Battle Royale?
Huh?
Yeah, they can put their property in within a trust.
Battle Royale?
And then they can make, you know, and
It's
like,
pretty full circle that
it's like,
I'm also doing that with Jesus.
Joe Broad is here.
and I was like,
Thanks for the introduction. Perfect.
Joe Broad.
Look, I even I tried to wear something similar to what I had in the first CamEveryDay.
Really?
No, this is what I was wearing today.
If you want to go back and look, the very first CamEveryDay took place on a night just like tonight. Well,
Except it was actually like Christmas.
yeah, it was
night.
actually Christmas.
I'll get to
That's
it. And it's just
hilarious.
When was the first CamEveryDay?
We're in
What year
college.
was that?
oh yeah.
For most part, I'd say my room of all things.
What year is it?
Right.
Is this on Zoom?
I found some cereal.
It's my favorite kind. Cocoa Dinobites Mega Bonus. Super The Cocoa Dinobites Mega Bonus has a flavor that you can't explain. You should watch. You should film a parable.
Okay. But really, what year was that you started CamEveryDay?
2010.
Yeah.
2000. I want to say it was 2010.
One is like a duplex, so she like ordered it, so there's like 4 technical rental pieces to that. But
Notice
then
the
one is
shape
actually right behind the linear
is to
foot
get
office.
perfect
And
amount.
we call- yeah, one of the offices, but as well, just do that.
Oh, cute.
Well, she has some, I don't think it's fun, but it's people that best ways to clear it. And it's an open house. So I've been.
I guess I'll just put it where I found it.
Kick them out as in,
Terrible spot
you know,
for a
just
bag
put
of
'em on
cereal.
the butt, but like, you could give them a fair notice, maybe kind of like you're living we'll be concerned.
Just the worst.
Maybe not necessarily.
Yeah.
for parents.
Just the worst
Or, like,
spot.
they-
It's not really the
they
same
kind of-
because
they really pride
the whole
themselves
kitchen is
in
different
is
now.
no surface
They're like
house, 'cause the roof kind of
I
needs
love
soft
those.
fruits.
I love those. I've been eating like
Probably
10 to 8 of
windows
those a
and
day.
this and that, and just little
10 to
things
8.
that, like, do that physical labor for you. Hopefully they
Watch
can
watch the
rent
pour. This is important.
because
You're right.
I don't
Sorry.
rent, obviously.
Well,
So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
but then again, I don't know. So we'll see.
You gotta nod your head at
Oh,
approval.
oh yes.
Do you
Yeah.
approve?
Yeah.
It's
Love
a
that
cute,
area.
it's a little 2-bedroom on that, little kitchen, little living room. It's just so.
Oh my god.
And I just remember seeing it like really when it's in its prime when we first got it. And I just remember thinking it was so cute, but now I'm just nervous. I don't know if they smoke in it and all that. I'm just like, but if we could scrub the walls, we scrub the walls. Like, if, but I would appreciate if my mom would pay for like the carpet. Is this a
Yeah.
commercial?
Whenever you see
Yeah.
someone pour wine with that little towel, and they do that afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
you know it's gonna be expensive.
Especially when they do it with paper towel.
And a gallon of milk.
She got you on that
And
one.
they're pouring cereal.
Right. Especially when it's a Downy double quill.
Bounty is where it's at.
Downy.
Bounty quicker picker up.
I always like a smaller spoon because it fits better in my mouth.
Small dainty mouth.
That's cute.
That's pretty good, huh? Actually,
And at first, because I don't know, I've always
Use a bit more.
said that like buses are being much meaner. Yeah. So we just talked about him quick in like our conversation, and like you two, and then it was funny that I'm like, Cat's calling me, I have to pick this up. Like just thinking, like, why is like no offense to you, but I was
So cute. She was like, I've never heard of camera.
That was beautiful.
Should I call you?
yeah, everyone felt elegant.
She follows to my bar and like talks to her.
lucky because this is like
Full circle.
So I was like, oh, maybe you can't remember that. She's so
I'm just gonna eat this not to be wasteful.
I think so. I was like, yeah, let's hang out. They the text went by.
And
2-3 days
action.
later, Sage, I'm ready to hang out. I'm ready back to bed. I'm like,
I
You
know.
know-
So, I'm like really close with Allie Marie.
The living room is great and all, but it really brings down the character value of CamEveryDay.
Okay. Well,
the name is very, very, very
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, she and I are like,
Like this is just like unnatural.
and